We are going to talk about the Zen mind right now. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the mind of experts, there are few. The goal of practice is always to keep our beginner's mind. And what is the beginner's mind right now? The definition of it. In the beginner's mind, and also the advantages of the beginner's mind. In the beginner's mind, there is no thoughts. I have attained something. All self-centered thoughts limit our vast mind. When we have no thoughts of achievement, no thoughts of self, we are true beginners. There we can really learn something. Beginner's mind is the mind of compassion. When our mind is compassionate, it is boundless. The most difficult thing is to keep your beginner's mind. And this is such a powerful line. The most difficult thing is always to keep your beginner's mind, because when you are truly a beginner, you are ready to learn. Because as a beginner, you are like, okay, I know nothing and I am here to learn. Teach me. This is the beginner's mind. Beginner's mind is not an arrogant one. And without you read much Zen literature, you must read each sentence with a fresh mind. There is also the real secret of, this is also the real secret of the arts. Always be a beginner. And here's the thing, sometimes maybe something may be not two but one. For example, a same thing may be two sides of same coin. So each one of us is dependent and independent at the same time. And if you think about this line, like each one of us is both dependent and independent. Nobody is independent. You are both independent and dependent at the same time. For example, you go to a supermarket, right? You buy stuff. That stuff is provided by somebody, so you are dependent of that thing. You are dependent of the people that brought you these things there. So far, humans. Maybe in the near future it will be robots. So same way, our body and mind are both two and one. We die and we do not die. And Buddha nature, basically, Buddha nature is something that we are Buddhas, basically, in Zen Buddhism, in Zazen. You are the Buddha yourself. You have the Buddha nature. You are the Buddha. Zen master would say, kill the Buddha. Kill the Buddha if the Buddha exists somewhere else. Kill the Buddha because you should resume your own Buddha nature. It's such a powerful line. Basically, it says like, kill the Buddha, kill whatever God, if the Buddha exists somewhere else. Kill the Buddha because you should resume your own Buddha nature. And follow up to this quote. Doing something is expressing our own nature. We do not exist for the sake of something else. We exist for the sake of ourselves. Basically, the Zen Buddhism, you have to be able to do things and express your own true nature. And your true nature is not to do things that is imposed on you by others, but to do things that come from inside you. That is true you, not something that's outside you and is put on you. It is powerful. Basically, the Zen Buddhism teaches you to be yourself. Be yourself and act from your own true you. And whatever that action will be, it will be expression of your own true, very true nature. Wujin teaching is kind of a food for your brain, powerful. Just like our physical body needs to eat food to keep surviving, keep existing, and just like we need to work out to stay in shape, so does our mind needs to eat food, and food in forms of teachings to exist, keep thinking. That's why when you read books because you are eating, you let your mind eat high quality food. And just like in physical body, there are junk food and there is healthy food, and choice is up to you. Same goes for books. There are unhealthy books that maybe you should read but not seriously, and there are super healthy and mind revolutionary books. Form is form and emptiness is emptiness. And here's the beginner's mind, about the beginner's mind, another thing. For the beginner, practice without effort is not true practice. Practice without effort is not true practice. For the beginner, practice needs great effort. Especially for young people, it is necessary to try very hard to achieve something. let me read this thing, especially for young people. It is necessary to try very hard to achieve something. It is necessary to try very hard to achieve something in anything. And now let's go to other thing. The difference of bowing, basically it says that after your meditation, your practice, you bow 9 times. But the understanding of to bow, to put your hand down, is very different in Zen than Buddhism generally. Usually in our culture, basically, to bow means that you acknowledge that thing, whatever you're bowing, that stands above you or higher you. But in Zen Buddhism, it's not like that at all. In Zen Buddhism, when you bow down to yourself, you literally, at the intermediate level, basically, you bow down to your Buddha, your own self, and because you are Buddha. In Zen and Zazen. And at the highest level, which author mentions, basically you bow neither to yourself, neither others. You just bow. This is also super powerful. When you forget all your dualistic ideas, everything becomes your own teacher, and everything can be the object of worship. There's this thing, like sometimes you are, as a human, you are tired of being an actor, and you just want to like step back and become the spectator, just observer. And I think this quote comes closest, like step back, and instead of getting angry, or instead of getting happy, or instead of getting frustrated, or whatever feeling may be interfering with you, just learn from it, observe it, and make it your own teacher. Here there is Buddhahood. The Buddha bows to Buddha, and you bow to yourself. This is true bow. There is no need to worry about progress. It is like studying a foreign language. You cannot do it all of a sudden, but by repeating it over and over, you will master it. So it takes, everything worthwhile in life takes time. There is no such thing as 10 minutes, getting in shape in 10 minutes stuff. It takes years of practice and dedication. Those like super high-level guys that are in amazing physical shape or condition, they've trained years to achieve that success of there. So nothing worthwhile happens overnight. I mean, it seems overnight, but it's not overnight. When there is no gaining idea in what you do, then you do something. Chinese poem, beautifully written. I went and I returned. It was nothing special. Rosan, famous for its misty mountains. Seko, for its winter. Basically, I love this poem. Like, I went and I returned. It was nothing special. Think about yourself. Just have this poem in your mind. For the person who has it, it is nothing, and it is something at the same time. For the person who has it, it is nothing, it is something at the same time. Do not think about anything, just remain on your cushion without expecting anything. Then eventually you will resume your own true nature. That is to say, your own true nature resumes itself. There is no starting point, no goal, nothing to attain. In Zazen, and generally, if you were to think about life, right? We are just what we are. Like, look at the bee that dies. You are not that much different from that bee. In fact, you are not. We are not. There is nothing, no starting point, no goal, nothing to attain. If you lose the spirit of repetition, it will become quite difficult. This is a gross side of like the true spirit of amazement. Basically, if you lose the spirit of repetition, spirit of practice, this is a gross mindset already. It will become quite difficult. Like spirit of repetition, you do it over and over and over and over. Just show up, you do it. You do what you have to do. Repetition. And eventually you do it without even noticing. Like, for example, when you're training martial arts, like you practice punches first slowly, then like you keep practicing it. Eventually it becomes your habit to have protective position and stuff like that, because you practice so much. Your body will do it automatically without even you realizing it. When you bow, there is no Buddha and no you. Oh, this is the highest form basically. When you bow, there is no. So I can explain it in different way, right? I made, I guess, a mistake. I said, You bow to neither yourself neither but when you bow, there is no Buddha and there is no you. So I guess it's very complicated stuff to understand. There were so many times while reading this book I wanted to, like, oh man, I wish I could meet this master and ask questions. So many questions. Not many, but very, like, things like that have huge importance. No matter the situation, you cannot, but now the only thing I can do is think about it and come to a realization, because I'm just as that you are Buddha yourself. You are your own Buddha. No matter what the situation, you cannot neglect Buddha, because you yourself are Buddha. Only this Buddha will help you completely. How this is, like, I want to clap my hands, like, no matter what the situation, you cannot neglect your Buddha, because you yourself are Buddha. Only this Buddha will help you completely. Basically, you yourself are the one that will help you completely. You are your own Buddha. This is that's just because of this thing called, like, there's a thousand, like, amazing. If there is a Buddha, kill the Buddha, because you are the Buddha yourself. To study Buddhism is to study ourselves. To study ourselves is to forget ourselves. And the message for us today is cultivate your own spirit, and this is related to Miyamoto Musashi's quote, if you remember it, right? The famous quote: "There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything exists. Seek nothing outside of yourself." In other words, cultivate your own spirit. It means not to go seeking for something outside of yourself. This is a very important point, and this is the only way to practice Zen. True understanding is actual practice itself. Our understanding of Buddhism is not just an intellectual understanding. True understanding is actual practice itself. Powerful. Our understanding of Buddhism is not just an intellectual understanding. The true understanding is also a practice itself. Instead of having deep understanding, true understanding is actual practice itself. Instead of having deep understanding of the teaching, we need a strong confidence in our teaching. And generally, if you were to forget that just Buddhism, like, generally, like, sometimes it's not about the thing you were taught, but how much confidence you have in things you were taught. In calmness, there should be activity. In activity, there should be calmness. It's the same thing, what I read just now. To have nothing in your mind is naturalness. When you do something, you should be completely involved in it. Basically, when you want to listen to someone, listen to someone. Don't multitask. Basically, some people are like texting and listening to some. Like, talk to a person. Like, if you want to talk to a person for real, like, you listen to that person. You're empty your mind. You don't judge that person. For example, let's say you're watching this video right now. Right now, for example, you are not listening. If you are, oh no, there. No, you're not listening. You have not finished listening first, right? And after you come with your conclusion, and after you give answer, after you finish listening. It's the most natural mind. The best way is to understand yourself, and then you will understand everything. Again, like the timeless wisdom, it tells us to learn thyself, understand thyself. To really realize that trust is to live, to exist here and now. Basically, the now of the Zazen. Buddhism is not the particular teaching. Buddhism is just trust, which includes various trusts in it. This is, by the way, a thing that many people don't understand. Like, Buddhism is not particular teaching. Buddhism is just trust, which includes various trusts in it. But I'm not sure what author means for the question I'm asking. Like, how can there be a various trust? What do you mean by that? Author of the book, probably I can ask the author this question no longer. But like, how come there can be a various truth? Like, there is a gravity, like it falls. Like, what do you mean? There is one trust, or there is many trusts? Why is there many trusts? That's a question I would ask for an answer. Admit, and in the end, admit that you are a Buddha. Without trying to be Buddha, you are Buddha. It doesn't matter if you want to be Buddha. You are Buddha. You are the Buddha. Then you are the only Buddha that will help you no matter what. That will help you completely. And there was a thing I missed on purpose, which I kind of hard time understanding. Like, when you do hard time understanding, and have many questions about this thing. What you do not realize Okay. When you do not realize that you are one with the river or one with the universe, you have fear. Whether it is separated into drops or not, water is water. Our life and death are the same thing. When we realize this fact, we have no fear of death anymore, and we have no actual difficulty in our life. This is a very hard thing for me to understand. Basically, what he means here is that us are just drops of water which will join the entire ocean when we'll die. This is the understanding of what he means. Okay, I don't know. Write down, comment down below what you think about this thing. Okay, that's it, our ending. Let me read this thing for you. Admit that you are Buddha without trying to be Buddha. You are Buddha. Don't forget to hit the like button if you have not, and subscribe if you have not already. See you.